You had a breakthrough. Talk to me.
Yes, had a breakthrough. Yeah. So I've set up my folders, and I'm on Splice, and I'm start. Obviously, for context, I'm an absolute beginner. So from the from the very beginning, and I'm starting to get all my drums and kicks in, and also some piano vocals in, all in house, and I just guess I'm starting to listen and hear music very differently,
Yeah.
starting to get the mathematics and starting to see it all piecing together. And it's just like, so it's been a bit of a breakthrough. Like literally from 24 to 48 hours ago, I was like, oh my God, how am I going to keep up
Yeah.
with all this? Until all of a sudden it's like, wow, okay, I'm
Yeah.
on the other side of this now. And I know there's so much more work to come, but I just don't feel as um like I'm going to be, I don't know, missing out on anything. Or yeah, and I'm actually
Yeah.
just
Wicked.
blown away. Yeah, you're an awesome teacher, man. That's
Oh, thank you, man. It's
yeah, yeah,
I suppose it's all about like when I was first learning, I just wanted to know. It's like, okay, well, the patterns seem the same. What's the maths of it? What's the block? How can I do this? And especially with house music, learning with house music, I feel it's the easiest form because it is four to the floor, four chords, sometimes even one, and it's quite structured, so once you kind of get in the loop, people see being in the loop is a bad thing. I think it's the best thing possible, mate. It's where I live 9/10 of my life is in the loop, and for traditional songwriters, the very much the chords, very much a traditional songwriting, but this isn't about traditional songwriting. This is about getting shit done and getting it done fast and kind of skipping through all the parts. That's why the setup is so in depth and so much detail in the setup, because if you have the setup right, it's like anything, if you got the kick drum right, the rest of the track is going to do all right, So do you want to show me around your folders and where you're at, just to get a little kind of breeze of where you're at? There
yeah,
you are.
yeah. Awesome. So this is just my notes section. So on the left, I've
Right.
got MusicDNA, and
Beautiful.
then this is where I've been doing all my homework, like so
Great.
far. So I've got my original five, and then five new songs, and I've just been doing my homework here. But
Great.
then organization, this is where I'll start putting my
Beautiful.
links, so that way, because I'm doing a lot of different projects, that way I can just drop in and
Yeah,
click on,
man.
open up the links and close it when I need to. And I've also
Great.
got the DNA
Beautiful.
PDF there, so that keeps me.
Beautiful.
So far I'm getting a bit organized. So
Yeah, man. It's half the battle. But once you're organized, you're organized. Once it's done, it's done. Do you know what I mean?
yeah, yeah. And man, I just want to say, you, like, when I go through it, because I've taught so many courses and with qigong and transformation online, you are a real master. Not just because like you've achieved the results, but the detailed and the structure of the
Oh, thank
pieces
you.
that you've delivered. I'm like, oh my God, like this is actually really, really brilliant.
Oh,
So as I
cool.
go through it, I really appreciate. I can see that you've put a lot of like hard work and thinking and effort into this. And you know what? What are the crossover benefits? Is I'm doing a huge qigong course. It's the most highly recorded one online in terms of investment in that, and I'm editing so much faster because of music. Because because
Right.
it's all, you know what I mean. My editing skills are just going insane because I'm
It's the
listening
same
to
thing.
music.
It's the exact, like in layers, music is made the exact same way. I've just gotten into video editing as well. This is the first time I've edited like a 3 hour video or a 2 hour video. It's like making a TV show. So all the work is in the prep. I'm telling you, man, like the stuff that I'm saying is exactly my process anyway. But when you're trying to make a course, you have to have some kind of structure. There has to be a place for, all right, well, that didn't work. Let's try this and let's expand from there. Or let's try these chords. Let's get rid of that bass. And so there's a bit of fluidity to it. And so it's not just like beep, boop, bap, beep, bap. So you know that the things that I'm doing work in any order. You know what I mean? I just do them in the order that I like for the reference that I was working with. And you can do it with any style of music, like jazz, hip hop, trap, R&B, chill out, breakbeat. Like it does not matter, man. Like all these processes that I'm doing, you can literally copy me exactly, or you can copy me exactly in your own way, like or one or many. I'm just trying to structure it in the flow that I taught myself how to produce on the PlayStation Music 2000, man, in like 1993. You know what I mean? So it was or 94, something like that. So this is the way that I taught myself. I don't play the piano. I can play a bit now after all these years, but so
Yeah,
show
well,
me around where you're at.
I'm an absolute beginner, so
Yeah,
that's
sure, man.
yeah. So that's that. So it's it's great. So this is what I've
Awesome.
got. I've set up my folders
Yep.
like DNA kicks,
Beautiful.
and then DNA my piano, and of
Hey,
course,
hit me. Let me play one. Let me hear what you
oh yeah,
where your head's at.
okay, yeah,
In E minor. These should all be the same key, bud.
okay, okay, yeah.
Cool.
That answers the question. Sweet, sweet. Do you want to play the other ones or just go into the ones that
Yeah, no. What I want you to do just for now is your key E minor.
I still have to fit. I still want to. Do you think it's worth me going over the where you recorded the sounds?
100%. Yeah,
Yeah, I
because
might.
it's all about that. It's all
Yeah,
about that
yeah,
process. The whole thing is about that
yeah.
particular
Thought so.
process.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I want you to delete all these, which is fine, you know, and the loops, you're already in there, like you're already going well, but I want you to find your key before you do anything else. It's so vital. The whole thing is about that sitting in the process, that meditative process, and going through the notes, you know, and
Yeah.
just sitting there and going, you know what? All right, it's 4 C D E F F or C D E 3, whatever it is. You know, I know your references. I mean, for you at this point, it's so important because you know you're looking for that torch to shine in the dark. You know, and if
Right,
you
yeah.
don't have that torch, it's very very hard to see where you're going. You know,
Yeah.
so it's vital that you do it, especially you know where you're at. I think for everybody, it's really vital whether you're doing jazz, whether you're doing hip hop, dance music. It does not matter, and the formula of that process is the key to everything else. Literally the key. So go and do that and find your key and just settle for it. You know, do the meditation. Get in there, find your key. If all your references are in E, I know you're kind of humming and toing and froing with it, which is okay. But if you just kind of surrender to it and go, all right, I got 3 twice or I got 6 twice, that's my key, and I'm going to go with that. I'm going to like stick with that key for this process.
Yeah.
So definitely do that before you go any further. And
I got a question that came up as well,
sure,
or two parts. Yeah. So one, I'm looking forward. I'll drop into the meditation, find my key and my note because I do see how that will shine the light in the dark. It'll keep me focused on one
yeah,
flow as well, and that will reveal the style. But then I just thought in terms of music creation, like if I wanted to, so once I found my note, and then let's just say if I wanted to throw some hip hop or R&B vocals or something in a house mix or something, but then I just go into the R&B genre
yeah,
and just
man. Like
whack.
what's even better is when you
Amazing.
go in. Let me show you. If you go into the application, and but I want you to do it on here first. So you can just go into, if you go to browse there on the left, go to browse on the left,
Browse up there.
on the very very
Up
left.
there.
Yeah, just hit browse so it's fresh. Then go down to instruments.
Instruments, yep.
Yeah, and then just hit vocal, all, view all on the very, very right, top right. Vocals, view all on the right, on the right, on the right, on the right, on the right. There you go, view all.
Yep.
There you go. And now put in your key in the middle there. Key in the middle, in the middle. Up,
Yeah.
no, 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 up here, in the vocal
Oh, yeah,
samples
key.
key. There you
Yep.
go. And put in what an E minor just for giggles'
Goes
sake.
now. Yep,
So,
yep.
so
Okay,
don't
cool.
use those keys up there. Use the C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Just those. Keep it simple.
Okay, yep.
So put in E minor.
Minor, yep.
And
Sweet.
now what'll happen is vocals in choir, pitch, funk, dubstep, they'll all come up. So it doesn't even matter. Like you can go into genres there, and house, it would be kind of good if you did that at the moment, or R&B is great over house music. You'll see in the second video that I've done, I've used like a really old vintage R&B vocal over a house music track, and it's this gorgeous like kind of Crazy Penis band kind of track, you know. It's like this gorgeous chords, but I started out in this jack and tech housey thing, you know. But it's all just torches, man, to give you a little bit of light in the dark. So once you go in and you like all these, I like for you at the moment, just because you're learning, I'd go into R&B vocals and house vocals. If you go into genres, just there.
Genre.
Hit genres and go R&B and house. They're right beside each other for a reason. 1500, you know, like hit the genres again.
Yeah, genre.
Yeah, hit it again, in the middle there. Yeah. And then hit house down there, 131. And then you got it, and then close that. And then what you can do is you just like pick the ones you like, but press play.
So lost in
Get
pain.
it. And now you've got E minor. That might fit over that piano that you just had, or a bass line and drum loop. So now it's like you're taking all the same key, Now there is developments on that, but I want you to work all in the same key at the moment, so there's no clash. That's cool. Just take that, download that, and so now do your new collection, DNA vocals. So if you just do kicks, pianos, and vocals.
I gave up on everything. Then one day you came.
That's great. You stop that
One day you changed everything. Changed everything.
Yeah, download that and then just chuck it into your vocals, man.
Save me
Yeah, just stop that.
It's a great
Vocal. It's a great vocal. So that's why, like, if at the very, very beginning when you're learning, if you just contain yourself to one style, say, right, we're going to do R&B vocals over house music beats and chords. Don't even worry about the bass line, because if you start with chords, you're starting with the essence of music, and the essence of music is the tonic, is the very first note, the note that you can hold down that's going to sound correct through the whole song. You can go dun 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 dun. That's called the tonic note, right? It's called tonic.
And is that E minor or is that?
That's the E minor, yeah. Well, it's E and the chord is minor. So if this is the mathematics of the whole piano, that's
what you call tonic.
Well, yeah. So the tonic is just the first note, right? The root note. It's called root note as well, right?
Yep.
So if you literally do everything in the same key, it's going to be very difficult for it to be clashing. And we want you to get into the rhythm of putting vocals on chords. So the essence of the chords, this is the maths of the piano. There's only 8 notes, and then, there's only 7 notes, and not including the semitones, which are the black keys. There's only 7 white notes, right? And all the white notes together are A minor. All right, so A minor is a great one to work in, to learn with, because it's all the white notes, you can't go wrong. And every time there's a pattern, it's just those notes repeated up the octave. So it's just 12 semitones up, or 7 notes up to the 8th note, which is the octave, and then it repeats and it repeats and it repeats, right? So you can pick any note on the key, and if you count up 3 semitones and then up and hit that one, then up 4 semitones, that's a minor chord. So if you go up 4 semitones and up 3, that's a major chord. That's it. That's the piano demystified for you. All right. So if you go 1, 3, 5 on the white keys, that's a chord, and you can just hold that up and down, chords. So what I'm getting you to do is, when you watch the second video, if you start out with chords, you start out with these pianos and get the pianos over the beats and then a vocal to fit on it. If you just concentrate on your beats, like the drum loops, the kicks and the snares, or drum loops, whatever, your pianos, even like really nice chord pianos as well, and vocals, and you start getting into the loop of that, make 4 or 5 of them, just like 2-bar loops or whatever, however long the vocal is, 8 beats, so 1 bar is 4 beats, repeat. That's all music is, man. It's super simple. So that's a really, really good way of looking at it for you, especially being a beginner to start with. I think it's really important that you just kind of get into the rhythm. It's like, okay, well, this is how I put it in, this is how I drag it across, this is in the loop, this is how I use the bridge, and kind of start stacking. That's what those stacks in Splice are great for learning. Have a bit of a play with that. But first of all, just continue down this road and get as many vocals, get like 10, 15 vocals, get 10, 15 pianos, 10 drums, 10 snares, 10 hat loops, and let's just start getting you creating stuff in the loop, on 2 bars and 4-bar loops. Because once even just a 1-bar loop, man, then you can develop. You can always get longer loops, and the 32 bar is a double chorus, and then you can make anything. If you have the chorus already written and everything's cranking behind it, you just reverse engineer the whole thing, And what I'm going into next, because you've got all your parts and you've built everything up to the peak, and that's why I've got drums, like snare loops and everything that are muted, which I bring in later in the build up. You've already got all the essences there of the whole track. So it's like, why would you start at the beginning when you can start at the finish, right? And then you reverse engineer it, and everything builds up to this point that you've already written this big stock of music. And then it's like, okay, well, at the start, I'm just going to take the beats out and leave the chords and the vocal do the work. Then I'm going to bring in the hi-hat when the second half of the verse. Then I'm going to bring in the kick drum at the bridge. And then it's like in the chorus, which we've already made because we make the hooks first. All about hooks, man. And catchy music. It's like, there's this guy called Max Martin. He's an absolute genius. He's done all the best pop music you've ever heard of, right? All Backstreet Boys, Britney Spears, all the way up to Katy Perry, and just all the massive pop, right? But he's this genius songwriter and genius producer. They're from Sweden, Max Martin and his team. And it's all very broken, simple English. And his thing is like, if he loves a track, he's like, oh, that's super annoying. It's really annoying. Yes, that's annoying. So, and the thing that he means about that is the hook is so infectious, it's annoying. So it's repetition, dun, 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 back streets, back, all right, dun, 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 dun. And it's all the, it's all the minor and major, or it's all the majors and minors. Da, 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 da. Response, da, 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 da. So it's all call and response. So when you got pianos going, ba, da, ba, da, ba, boom, 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 ba, da, ba, da, ba, it's a hook. It's hooking you in, literally like fishing you in. So hooks are repetition. It's a melody, a simple melody in repetition. And if you're able to sit in the loop for 2-3 hours, you know, on something it's not doing your head in, that means you're really into it. And if you've got a bit that you're like, oh, that's really cool or really annoying, just fucking repeat that motherfucker. You know what I mean? Just repeat it and repeat it. And then you'll start seeing, okay, well, now I've got a 32 bar loop. How do I make a song out of that? Or how do I make that an arranged track that a DJ could play? All that kind of amazing stuff that we can go into. But right now, just 2 bars, 8 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Just concentrate on that and you'll be away in a hack, man. You'll be absolutely away in a hack. But make sure you do the piano, like you gotta find your note first because it's all about your music DNA. So you just gotta sit down and surrender to that process.
Man, solid. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that. And
Awesome.
Yeah, bro, just joy inside.
Once you remember, I was saying at the very, very beginning, once you start this process and you surrender to it, all these synchronicities and sparks of aha moments start happening. So you've just had your first couple, right? And now you're like, oh, okay, this is how it works. Because it's all just about information. It's just about educating yourself with information, right? So if you start on this, like, okay, this is all I need to worry about, 8 beats. I can do that. All right, we'll put on the loop. You follow the second video, you know, bit for bit. You don't even have to go past the first or second bit, or you can. I mean, I would just stick with it and spend a few weeks on it, you know, and just kind of get in the loop. I'll do another one-on-one with you when you've got, say, 10 beats, 10 kicks, or 10 snares, kicks, piano. When you have 10 pianos and vocals, let's do another quick half an hour one-on-one, and then I can walk you through. But everything is there in that second video that you need to know. But I'll just show you an extra couple of little cheat sheets so you can get it set up right. You know, you get the magnifying glass. It's really important, that first process, because then you have your first beats. Now you don't have to, if you don't want to, go into the mastermind, mastermind template. You don't have to go into that yet. It is quite technical-ish. You know, it's still a setup, but for you being a super beginner, let's just get you into those first 2 bars, first 8 beats, and get you in the loop of okay, I've got 4 kick drums, and I'm going to trigger some hi-hats, I'm going to trigger some piano loops and drag in the ones I like. Let's start there.
Yep.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I believe so, man. It's all going in, and I'm excited. And yeah,
wicked, man. Like Splice is such a great tool. You know, like some people hate on it, but like it's like people in television hate it on Netflix. It's like this massive, like a 1,000,000 terabyte drive for us to just take advantage of for sounds that you don't need a guitar, you don't need a drum kit, you don't need anything. You know, you just need your mind and your creative expression, man. And like this is how the Prodigy, Basement Jaxx, well, more so like Daft Punk, Chemical Brothers, that they would use these sounds and sample themselves and make these weird squiggles and squelches and then recreate it in their own image. Daft Punk, man, most of their tracks are just big blocks of samples, loops. That's it. Like there's this thing, where did Daft Punk get their samples from? And if you like Daft Punk, it's going to really upset you, because it really upset me. I thought these guys are genius producers. They're not. They're genius samplers. Samplers. And then they loop it. And I was like, oh my God, though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, I thought they made these sounds themselves. That's nobody cares. And I've been a producer since I was 15, 16 years of age. And it cut me, but then I was like, oh no, hang on. That's really, really smart. It's really, really smart, you know, especially if you don't know, if you can't make down, you're like, oh wow, okay, we'll just sample it off a dirty 70s record that nobody's ever heard of and make it famous for ourselves and for the people who made the original record. Put a nice big thumpy French kick behind it, giddy up. You know, it's dance music, man. It's house music. It's gonna blow your mind.
Getting goosebumps here and all this.
Well, I mean, if you like Daft Punk, this is either going to really piss you off or really impress you, or hopefully both. Have you downloaded Nico's MIDI pack and all the templates and all that?
I don't think I have actually. No, I've just.
I've sent everything to everybody, so I've just sent you there in your chat.
All right. Also, I'm Zoom.
Yeah, so watch that in your own time. In your chat in Facebook. So watch that in your own time. And there's also this one, the 4 Chords of Heaven, which there's like, 500 songs that you'd know in these 4 chords. It does not matter what or how many people have used the same thing. It can be, there's a bazillion, trillion, infinite ways of creating, because there's an infinite tones of voice. Yeah, we're a bit held back by Western scale, but it's a beautiful scale to work in. And there's hundreds of scales in music, you know. There aren't enough notes for frequencies. So that's what, so MusicDNA is matching the frequencies to the notes as close as physically possible to get a result for you that you can go, okay, well, this is my frequency, let's paint in it. And then you color your music. Wicked, bud.
And amazing. Yeah.
Awesome. There's some good shit in there, man. Some good content, dude. And was there anything else?
Just to reiterate, I'm going to get my the rest of those pieces together for this, and then I'm looking to you said 1, 2, 3, 4 to 8, and am I aiming to build like the peak of a chorus? Is that what I'm aiming to do?
That's what you are aiming to do at the moment. But right now, what you're aiming to do is get into the sort of technical flow of dragging and dropping the sounds.
Yeah, and getting,
you know what I mean? Because then it's like, it's great that you got the vision, and that's exactly where you're going. So you're looking for that peak moment, right? And if you feel peaking, and it could be, as I say, it could be super chill out, SBS chill. That could be your peak. You could love that. You could fall in love with your track every time you produce it. Or it could be like, you know, like Amber Savage, man. Her stuff's like 150 beat a minute, but it's got this kind of like lazy funk to it. The psytrance that she makes, it's the exact same process, man. Exact same process, you know.
Wow, man, my heart's just
yeah, it's pretty cool, man. And this is something that I've been building over 3 years, you know, since my accident. That I was like, look, I've got to get out of painkillers. I've got to figure out a way to meditate through this. And then I came across the solfeggio scale through Glenn Harrold, a meditation teacher, and a meditation guy on the Calm app, on the Breathe app. And then I was like, well, what's the solfeggio scale? This is like 3 days into my surgery. What is this sorcery? And then I was just like, zoom down the rabbit hole, and it was all about healing frequencies. And I was like, well, hang on a second. How are these matching to music notes? These are frequencies. It's music note. What the fuck? You know, so I started going down that rabbit hole. I was like, oh, it's not quite. But then if I just kind of move that, and I take that from there, and this from that piece of world, and a bit of that, and a bit of that, and then put it all in this Camelot wheel, and this like frequency of 7, it's like, oh, okay, something magic is happening here. And then I just started doing it. I've done it thousands of times, you know, with people, and it's the fastest way that it's helped me through my shit over the last 3 years. And now it's about showing everybody else, look, this worked for me, you know, both physically, metaphysically, inside and out. It's helped change my entire view of the world and myself, and about getting up in the morning, what my purpose is. Because after you get to a certain place, if you go to a certain depth in depression or anything in life, like, you got to have a purpose to be able to fight out of it for something if you haven't got anything else. And this was my purpose. And after losing everything, it's like, well, okay, something's got to change, man. So I just went straight to the root of, I suppose, frequency and energy and matching it up. And the more I discovered, the more it was all just in line. It was just all syncing up. And then the magic happened when I reverse engineered Don't Hold Back and Are You With Me and Hello, and from the music, all these hits. I was like, oh my God, these are in my kit. This is me. It's like D, F, and B. It's like balls deep, heart, and crown. No wonder it connected with everybody. You know, no wonder it didn't just last 3 days at number 1. It was like 17 months. You know, it's like on the iTunes chart. It's crazy, man. So there's got to be something in that. This is the process. Because I remember when I was sitting down writing it, I had the da 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 just for fun. I got these little sort of squeaky bits from listening to a guy called Bass Clef. He used to have these little like sort of rhythmical blips and blops, and I just took that and I was like, okay, I'll do it my own way. So I was like, well, nothing's original. I've been doing what everyone else has been doing all their life. I'm just getting a little bit deeper into it, a little bit more kind of focused on what is real and why are we actually here and doing this? Why do we love it so much? And then I'm just going to reverse engineer it, write it down, record it, and teach it to people.
Man, you are really bringing light into the world, brother.
Oh,
really.
Thank you, man.
Yeah. So just honor you, man. And thanks for having the humility to serve others too. You know what I mean? Like, you got a gift, and not many people have got a gift can teach it very well, and you got both sides, man. So credit to wherever you've gone to bring this out. It's you're bringing light
to hell and back. But sometimes you got to see the dark, man, to be able to envision the light. And this to me is like, I wake up every day and it's like, I'm going to go into schools with this. I'm going to go into prisons with this. I'm going to like teach music psychology, musical mental health, because the numbers, if I even go into a jail and like a prison and I'm allowed to help them with a playlist that's going to help them get through their anger for the next week. If you want to step into your anger and you want to figure it out, this is the style of music and the key of these 7 tracks you want to listen to for next week, see if it works. And then we'll see what the data comes back from that. I already know what's going to happen. People are going to start having synchronicities and they're going to start feeling better and they're going to start meditating and they're going to start feeling, that they want to drink more water and just do the basic things in life correctly. Because then when you're a bit lighter and you go on this kind of music DNA process, there's something about the process that's a higher energy, it's a higher vibration. And I'm telling you, man, even just yesterday, so I'm coming home from my gig on Sunday, and I just told my friends at the really like the first friends I had here in Australia, like pre-Pop Bellies, and me and Dave just got together, same people, known them like 21 years, it was amazing. We're all at a wedding together, I hadn't seen them in like 10. So I'm telling one of my best mates, Monty, about it, and he's like, "Oh, mate, this is amazing. What are you doing?" And like, he works with kids, he works with people like a lot of islanders in brickies and labourers and that, who mental health is a big thing for them, but they all love music, and he has a mental health non-for-profit. So he loves music, he was there for the whole thing, they all were. So everyone's really getting into it. And my friend Tina, she's astrology and energy points, and she teaches this stuff as her living, and she hadn't heard of this. So I was like, oh my God. So they were all kind of processing it. And then I'm walking home from my gig on Sunday, the day after, and there's this like big red massive building. I just turn around and it just has Monty buy, sell in this huge, massive big, it's just a massive building sign. And the next day, literally at 2:22, I get to pick up the call. Monty's calling me. "How you doing, buddy? Let's get this music DNA going into prisons, all right?" I was like, all right, let's go, buddy. Let's have it. So the wider scope of music DNA is something much greater than, it's much greater than me. It's much greater than anything that I've thought of before, and the purpose is much greater, So I'm really seeing, the first thing is getting this recorded and getting it into people's psyche and getting into producers and into music makers, so that it comes from the grassroots. It's from the people who are actually making the music. That's the important part.
Honored to be a part of the journey. Like I said the other day, when you said, "Why are we here?" I just I just feel like it's destiny. Like, that was most my honest answer. I don't throw those words around lightly.
Yeah. Oh, beautiful, man. If we can help you in your journey in any way, shape, or form, even if it just makes your day a little bit easier. So, and you can do this with anything. You can use that music DNA process, the 3 ways of the piano. You can use that in anything. If you want to figure out something in your life, like, okay, well, I'm stepping into fear here. Okay, well, what if you're feeling the fear of what you're going to do next, if you want to write a song about fear, have a listen to the 7 notes, and I'll tell you the synchronicities of, you'll either hit a key that will exacerbate fear or enhance it. And then you can use another note to get rid of it, So but that's for a masterclass. That's coming later. So it's but right now it's just about finding your music DNA.
How do I so once I recognize the notes, how do I unpack that into the specific note? Was that part of the training that we did as well?
Yeah, okay, it's 100%. So you'll go through it. I don't want to give it away again. You kind of get it, but sitting back in the process, turning off, your eyes, turning off everything, turning off your screen, and just sitting and letting it play those 3 ways. And usually you'll get the same note twice. and the middle one is you're kind of looking for it, you're searching for it, and your body will react, and then you're like, okay, which was the number? And rather than letters, taking the emotion out of the key before you actually hear it. But go and have some fun with it, man, and just like pick that one note. Don't have anything, just feel it. Just sit down, take it all off, and just sit down and just let your body do the work, man. Feel like, go through the exact process that it recorded for you. Or if you get D and you don't know whether it's D minor or D major, have a listen to, I mean, usually major are more uplifting and minor are a bit dirtier, but saying that, an A minor is very uplifting and an A major is, or an F major is quite down. So if you have references that are in E and some of them are more minor than major, pick a reference that you love. And if that's major or minor, you really like it, go major or minor, whatever that reference is, and then we're going to use that. And it's just that process, you know, and then it's okay, well, that's cool. It mightn't be your finished, polished track. It's not about that. It's about getting into the process and into the flow. Okay.
Yeah, beautiful, man. Appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Too easy, brother.